Hi. In part 1, we're going to do a procedural texture in Blender, and in part 2, we're going to take that procedural texture into Unity. So let's begin by rearranging our desktop here. I'm going to have 3 windows up here. There's 2, and there's 3. In the far left-hand window here, we want to put up the node editor, and in the middle here we can do the UV image editor, and over here in the 3D view we'll just hit T to get rid of that here, and we're basically ready to go. What we want to do with this cube here is we want to unwrap the cube here. So we need to go into edit mode. We'll tab into edit mode here, and in edit mode we'll zoom in just a little bit here on this cube. And in this cube here, we need to view it slightly different here. We'll take the limit selection to visibility and put it off. Okay, so we also need to select edge mode here. Okay, we're ready to go to select the edges. I hit A to deselect everything here, and I right click on the first edge here, and then we're going to shift right click on the other edges we need here. There. I think I got them all here. So now what we want to do is to mark them as seams. So we do a Control E here and mark seam here. And now we want to select everything. So I do A and A again. And now I press U to unwrap. And there we are. We're unwrapped, as you see in the middle view here in the UV editor. Okay, our next task is to start on the texture here. So we go over to the icons in the property window. We select texture here. And the texture type that we want, we're going to pick up marble here. Okay? And we're ready to go over to the node editor here. We click on its texture icon. And also here we click on use nodes. And we want to make this a little bigger now. Zoom in here a little bit. We can see these nodes here. We want to get rid of this color node here. So use A to select everything, deselect everything, and then do a right click on the color node, hit X, and it's gone. Okay, so what we need here is a texture node. So we put add, we go to textures, and we click on marble here. And what we want to get rid of here, change to 0, is the size here. So let me put that at 0. And we want to do the same thing for the turbulence here. Put that at 0 here. And we can make the connections now for this here. There's the color. And you can see our procedural texture marble come up there. Let's just move this quickly, move this over here. And what we want to do, make it a little fancier, we'll add a couple of colors to this. There's a lot of things you can do in terms of nodes here, but we'll just go add a couple of colors, hit the add menu here, color, compose, RGB here, and it's hooked up. That's nice here. We want to make green, say 0.5. And then we got the green in. We need another one here. Color, compose, RGB mode here. We need to hook this one in here for its color here. And let's make this color blue, 0.5. And there we got it all taken care of. Our red and green procedural texture here, and it shows over here in our properties now for the preview here. Okay, so we can resize this again to make this back the way it was, and terms of taking care of that here. So now we go to the UV window here. And what we want in the UV window to do a new, click on new. We can name this like marble. And we can, M-A-R-B-L-E, marble. Choose a color here for it. Click on the color here. And let's just choose red. 0. There's a nice red. And we don't have to do anything else here. Just hit the OK button. And unfortunately, it zoomed it too much, so we got to come back in here so we can get it reasonable. There it is, reasonable as far as it appearing here. And we're ready to go as far as baking goes now. So to bake our procedural texture, we go to the camera, over here, camera icon in the properties window, and we scroll down to bake here. Now what we got to do in bake is make sure that it's on full render here. And once it's on full render, we just say bake. And there, immediately in the UV editor, we can see we have a problem. Only 2 of the faces have a procedural texture on it. Well, this is a lighting problem. And we can fix this by going back to the 3D view here and tabbing into object mode again. We need to zoom out on here till we can see our light here. And there's our light, so let's select that. We're going to give our light some new dimensions, so I'll hit a new location. So I'll hit N here. And what we want to do for the new location is make this 3, make the Y 2, make Z 2. Okay, now we need another light. So just go to the light here, and it's already selected. So we just have to do a Shift D to duplicate, put the other light over here somewhere. And we're going to change its locations too. We're going to make this -3, make this -2, and make the Z 2. Okay, we need one more light here. So do another Shift D, drag it off here, put it down here somewhere. And we got to change its location here. So put this 0, X 0, Y 0, and Z we can use -9. Okay, now we got our lights set up. We can render this again now. So we got the camera selected, scroll down again, click the bake button here. Whoop. One error here. I forgot to go back to edit mode here. So what we do here is select the cube, hit tab. We're back in edit mode here. We can now go to the bake, and much better. We got it all baked this time. That's nice here. And now what we want to do is save this over here. So we go to the image menu here and say save image. Save as image here, and we want to save this as marble PNG somewhere, wherever you want to save it. I'll just click save as image for here, and it saves it out. That's fine. Okay, now the last thing we have to do here is export. And so to export, we have to set it up right first in the 3D view. Go back to the object view here. And the only thing we want selected is the cube. It's selected, so we're fine there. We're ready to export. Go to the File menu here. Choose Export and choose Autodesk FBX format to export it in. We scroll down to the bottom here. We click on Selected Objects here. We don't need modifiers. We don't need Enable Animation. We don't need keyframes. And we're all set to go. We just export this then as an FBX. And we're done with the first part of this. Thank you for watching here. In the next part, I'll have a short video on taking this into Unity.